Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Spotlight, which is brought to you by the Georgetown branch number 5520, where we're here to educate, motivate, and activate. Guess what? Georgetown Christmas Parade is going on right now. I have my co hosts who are already there. They're on site at the Georgetown Christmas Parade. I don't know what time it starts. I just found out about it. So you are about to meet to see our president, Mr. Marvin Neal, as well as our first VP, Mr. Deontay Winchester, and they are with the 40 double Dutch team. They are out there live, beautiful ladies. They out there doing their thing. So we're going to bring them on set right now for you guys to see. Good
Good
morning.
morning, good morning, good morning, guys. I am Donna Reed, and I am the captain of the 40 Plus Double Dutch Club right here in the beautiful Georgetown, South Carolina. We're excited to be here this morning. We are getting ready to jump in our annual Christmas parade. 40 Plus Double Dutch is for women 40 and over that's excited, that's tired of being on the couch and want to come out and just have a great time and relive their childhood. It got started in Chicago, Illinois by Pamela Pelt Robinson, and we have existed here, was organized here a year in Georgetown, South Carolina. So we are excited to be a part of this on today. So yay, Facebook 40 plus.
Yay! I can get with that.
Love you guys.
Love y'all.
We go roll. We fix to jump in
All
the
right.
vehicle.
Okay.
Oh, we
Yes,
not fixing to
Mr.
jump in. I thought that
Neal
was the coach there.
and Deontay, our co-hosts, they are out here at the Georgetown Christmas Parade. Mr. Neal, what's going on out there?
Say again.
What's going on out there? We got you at the Georgetown Christmas Parade, huh?
Oh man, they maxed out here. We have to slide in somewhere and stuff, but they let us in and stuff. We have a ton of organizations out here. The Double Dutch is here, and my wife is a part of the Double Dutch and stuff. It's a very great organization and stuff. They have they do some great work. I worked out with them at Browns Ferry on one time, and I tell you, I thought I was back in the military and basic training and stuff. So it's a very good organization. You know that road. It's a great organization. So we're excited to be out here with them. We right in front of them. So, they'll
Can you
give us a
show
good
us around
workout
just
today.
a
I
little
might
bit?
jump out and do some hula hoops.
I know that's right. Look, it's some good exercise for you too.
Yeah, we trying to get Deontay out there on the hula hoop side and stuff, but he don't want to move right now. Nah, there's too much here to be on a hula hoop.
Right. This is pretty exciting. I didn't know that the Georgetown Parade was going on today. Guys, if you are listening in and you are in the audience, thank you so much for joining today's spotlight. Mr. Neal, as well as Deontay Winchester, they are getting set up in line. Go ahead and share this video to your feed. For sure, Mr. Neal, you guys are probably not going to stay on the whole show, but I want you guys, if you would, just to pop in and out. If you want to kind of show us around what's going on since we can't be there.
Hey, we could do that and stuff. We about to have a ball here and stuff. We already having a ball and stuff. So. I stopped by Shopee this morning and stuff on the way here. Picked up some fish sandwiches and stuff, so we
Oh,
got a ball.
hold on now. Hold on. You talking about fish sandwiches. I'm glad you said that because we do have a few announcements that everybody needs to keep in mind. You are right. There's a fundraiser going on right now over in the Choppy community. The Choppy Community Organization is having a breakfast fundraiser. It started at 7 this morning. It ends at 12. So you got a little bit of time. If you are near Choppy to go out there, the breakfast plates are $8. Look like they got fish, grits, tomatoes, and all that kind of stuff. How was it, Mr. Neal?
Oh man, they had a crowd out there. They were running out of grits, so I just grabbed 4 fish sandwiches and gave them a donation and stuff. What they're doing, they raise money to help people in the community with ramps and stuff like that. That's less fortunate and just other things that they do in the community. That really started with, you remember Fred Giles? Yeah, he used to be the
Yes, sir.
president of the Alumni Association there, of the not the alumni, but the Choppy Community Organization there. And now
Yes.
it's Blaine, Mr. Blaine out there, and they're doing a great job. That fish was so good, man. It was so good, but they had a
Yes.
crowd of people out there. You know.
Yes. Once again, if you are near the Choppy section, they are having a fundraiser. Even if you don't like fish or don't want no grits or nothing like that, go out there and support them. Drop off a donation. They will be there till 12 o'clock. Looks like everything is $8. Show on up at the fundraiser. Mr. Neal and Knowles have already gotten their plates and sent a donation. Thank you, Mr. Neal.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a great thing. Great to support organizations like that, Ebony.
Yes, yes. So we appreciate the two of you. We have some good information. We got Deontay out here dressed like Santa Claus, spreading love and cheer.
That's right.
To everyone. They are
And
out here.
and a little bit of cavities as well.
They are out at the Georgetown parade, to the Christmas parade. So I don't know if it's still time for people to make it out there either, but they are there representing the NAACP. Please share the information out. But for now, on a serious note, a very serious note, we like to have fun, but we want to go ahead and get down to business. There is a program, Mr. Neal, Deontay, y'all can maybe speak to this while y'all riding. Be safe though. They are going to be having a meeting, okay, a public meeting on Monday, December the 8th at 6 o'clock at the United Steel Workers Hall at 1515 Butt Street. And we're going to have our communications chair, Miss Jacqualine Williams, to come on the show today and talk about this meeting, because she is also, and she can tell more about her representation and how she represents the AFL-CIO. They are doing wonderful things. I have myself been learning so much, Mr. Neal, because somebody told me some time ago that there were no unions in South Carolina, and I found out that that was a lie.
Well, that's the lie that, people that misrepresent, especially minority people and people of color, that's looking for justice and equality and pay raises and fair treatment and where you work and stuff. That's the challenge right now. It goes all the way back to 1619, Ebony, and the Emancipation Proclamation when it was signed. That those are always the obstacles that we have to cross, just trying to get fairness within equality of the workplace. So unions serve a great opportunity. The South is really challenged with having unions, but they really need to get it together, because what they're doing is they play the at work state game, which is the at will state game, which all it means is keep black people at bay and minority people and suppress, the voice of those that's underserved. That's what it boils down to, and underpay us with justification that they could fire us if we talk about it. And that's the challenge that we always have had. It's just like the electoral college. It's the same thing. Those are oppressive state that we were put in for the minority to control. Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Y'all good out there?
Yeah, we are good. Yeah, they just want me to slow down so they can cross over. We're going to delay the parade a little bit here. Not delay it, but just make sure they got a good spot in there. But yeah, it's a lot of challenges, Ebony, that we have to deal with. But you got anything, Deontay?
What a lot of people don't realize is that from the very beginning, the labor rights movement and the civil rights movement has always gone hand in hand. The two must go together, because the minority community has always been, by and large, a member of the working class community. So when the working class does better, the minorities and individuals who are struggling just to make ends meet will also do better. So it is in our best interest to all join hands together and try to make this work happen the best way we know how, because right now, especially, as we are still in the midst of this pandemic, workers have been hit over the head with so many different obstacles. If you look at, for example, the restaurant industry, how many restaurants that we know and enjoy have shut down because people don't want to come back to work? Well, that's what they tell you. It's not that people don't want to work, it's that people don't want to work for these wages that are less than what they deserve. And this pandemic has brought so much to light. So it's important that we support the workers' rights movement and that we come out to this event, hear what's being said, so that we can be informed and move forward as necessary.
That's right. Thank you so much, Deontay. So what we're going to do now is bring on our special guest. She is, let me tell you something. Miss Jackie Williams is a mover and a shaker in our community. She has been out organizing with a number of different organizations to get people out to vote, okay, which is so very important. She represents the AFL-CIO and their initiatives for workers' rights. So we're just going to go ahead and bring her on. She is also our communications director. I am happy to present to you Miss Jacqualine Williams. Good morning, Miss Williams.
How you doing, Miss Jackie?
You're on mute too.
Sorry. How are you guys doing?
Good. How you doing, Jack?
I'm
Good.
wonderful. I'm wonderful. What's up, Santa Claus 1 and
Ho,
Santa
ho,
Claus
ho.
2? Santa Claus and Santa Claus's helper.
I'm the helper today.
Oh, Lord have mercy. You guys all
Can
right?
you tell us about?
Oh, we're doing
Yes,
great.
ma'am.
Good.
Can you tell us about what is this meeting for? Who should come, and how did it get started?
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go. I'm going to definitely go into the meeting component, but I think something that you said, Ebony, which is so important, that I want to just highlight real quickly. 2 seconds here. The AFL-CIO is a international organization that represents approximately 12.5 million men and women in the workforce. We represent on a national and international level, our stage, over 57 unions, nationally and internationally. Our Vice President, April Lott, who is in the Charleston area, actually was one of the organizers over in one of the parts of Africa, in one of the countries in Africa, where she went to help organize unions there. So right here from little old South Carolina, more particularly in the Low Country, there is so much that we don't know in reference to the work that the AFL-CIO has done, is doing, and how some of our folks that are right here in the Low Country are playing such a valuable role in organizing. And the purpose of organizing is more than just striking for better wages. The AFL-CIO is responsible for making sure that that the work environment is safe and healthy for its employers, for the employees, that they get retirement, they get benefits, they get holidays, that they have, the appropriate amount of days off, that, they're not just in there working these absorbent hours without the well-being of the employees being in, being a factor, or being in mind, as I think, making sure that the employees are taken care of to the best of the ability by the employers. And so the
Right.
AFL-CIO does a lot. And outside of its roles and responsibilities to the workforce, it also is really heavily involved in the community and community-based activities, and community engagement. One of the things that we are very involved in is the right to vote, and making sure that the right to vote is protected and that people are able to vote without harassment, intimidation, so forth and so on. And so we do a lot of work on a lot of different platforms in local communities, nationally, as well as internationally. I serve.
I have a question.
Yes.
Unions are so important and
Mm-hmm.
in the safety and rights of people. And you mentioned about voting rights.
Mm-hmm.
Are all industries able to participate in this workers union, or do they cater to only certain industries?
No, any industry that wants to organize, that is what we do. We help. We have different divisions that make up the AFL-CIO, and we have people that work in the capacity of organizing. We have those that work as community engagement. That is what they do. But if industry, or let's say a group of employees wanted to organize, then they would contact the AFL-CIO. We would send one of the members or officers that basically handle organizing, and they would then begin to put the foundation in play for those groups of employees, to help them go through the process of organizing, which is what we are doing now in the upper state, in Chesterfield County, at a tire plant. There, the employees are going through the process of organizing. What we have found, though, over the years is that a lot of times when employees come together and want to organize and want to create a union, that there is a lot of bullying and there's a lot of intimidation that happens, because, of course, who wants to pay employees more money without being forced to, or having to put some type of mechanism in place like a union to make sure that employees are being paid livable wages. So,
Right. That's a good point.
Right. So one of the things that we do is we have lobbyists all over the country. And one of the things that our lobbyist does is to work with legislators to help write and sponsor bills through legislators to prevent and protect employees from being intimidated, bullying, or even losing their jobs as all because they want to organize.
Absolutely. And
yeah.
for those of you who just joined, thank you so much for joining today's Spotlight. Of course, it's brought to you by the Georgetown branch number 5520. We have Miss Jacqualine Williams here, who is with she first of all, she is our very own communications chair, but she also represents the AFL-CIO, which is a workers union, and she's going to be she's now talking with us about what this organization does, how it got started, and about a meeting that's getting ready to happen that's going to take place on Monday that you should really pay attention to. Now, meanwhile, in the background, we do have our co-host, Mr. Marvin Neal, as well as Deontay Winchester, and they are representing the NAACP in the Georgetown Christmas parade today. So they're in the backdrop, and they're going to be keeping us posted as they are going down the street. Matter of fact, we're just going to pop in with them in just a second here. If they can unmute themselves and say hello. Look like they're waving and carrying on. So they're doing that in the background.
Double trouble.
Double trouble. Look like they having a good time
Good
too.
time. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So we're gonna
Good
put them
trouble
in the
though.
yes. So we're gonna put them in the background, and Miss Williams is gonna continue on about the workers' union.
Okay. First, let me say the meeting is December the 8th, which is actually on Wednesday. It's not Monday, it's Wednesday. It's December the 8th. It's December the 8th at 6 p.m. It is at the United Steelworkers Union Hall, which is located at 1515 Butts Street. That's 1515 Butts Street at the United Steelworkers Union Hall. And it's is there one 1515? I think it says 515. Yeah, but it's 1515.
Oh.
It's okay. 1515, which is the United Steelworkers Hall right here in Georgetown. Basically, what my job is, and this will help people to put in context why the AFL-CIO is actually sponsoring or hosting this meeting, because there's been some questions about, okay, like we're a little confused. Aren't you all like union? Why are you sponsoring meetings and what have you? But more than that, we are community activists and advocaators for our communities. I serve as the state community liaison. I work in the faith-based community as well as / the political liaison for the state of South Carolina under the direction and leadership of our absolutely awesome president, who is from Georgetown, born and raised, President Charles Brave Jr., who is the president of the state AFL-CIO. He is the only African-American president in the country. And he was just recently voted in as the president of the International Longshoremen's Association Local 1422, which is in Charleston, South Carolina, which is the largest local union actually on the East Coast. So he wears some really serious hats and has been doing work for as long as I have known him with, organizing and as well as community engagement. So we are extremely proud of him and very excited about the work that he does. As president, one of the things that he wanted was to be able to be more engaged in the community, because unions and communities go hand in hand. The union primarily was one of the driving catalysts that created the middle class. And so we can't just create better financial situations for people and not continue to be engaged so that we can have more cohesiveness between community wellness. And this was one of the things that he really wanted to make sure that under his administration that was being done across communities in South Carolina. So that is where I come in. So it makes sense that as a community liaison for the state, it makes sense that I would also be a member of the NAACP, because, it all goes hand in hand. And that I also work with the Democratic Party because conceptually, it goes hand in hand, because a lot of our support in terms of the union comes from the Democratic Party. Okay, that is just a known. So it all works together. I had a meeting. I went into a meeting the other day, a couple of weeks ago, with the city's community. He's like the city's communications or community planner. He does planning for the city, Mr. Christopher Iglesias, and having that meeting with him, basically to open up, the dialogue and talk about how do we better inform our communities to meetings that are vital to the future of our communities, to make sure that we are represented and that we are aware of what's going on in government and local government, how it affects the communities, and to be able to have our voices heard. Now, Ebony, you know just as well as I know that that has been a challenge for us in our communities, whether it's city, county, what have you.
Yes.
It's been a challenge in Georgetown for quite some time. And
Right.
so speaking with him, he began to talk about what is actually coming up and what is going to be our future, and that is the TIF district, which has already been created.
So
Now,
hold on. So this information that you're speaking about will be covered in the meeting that's going to happen
yes,
on December the 8th.
on
So for
December
you,
the 8th.
okay.
Mhm.
So for those of you who have just joined, there will be a public meeting December the 8th at 6 o'clock
6 p.m.
at the
Right.
United Steelworkers Hall at 1515 Butt Street. And Miss Jackie
Mhm.
Williams is going over, I guess, an overview, a synopsis of the reason why you need to be there. Go ahead, Miss Jackie.
Right. And I'm not really going to get into it because that is what Mr. Iglesias is going to be doing. But I do want to say that it is very, very important that you come out to this meeting and get the information. You need the information. And the reasons being, there are two very important things that Mr. Iglesias is going to discuss on that night. One being the urban core overlay plan, which basically is a innovative way for relaxing zoning requirements. Okay, so he's going to be discussing the urban core overlay plan as it relates to zoning. Now, zoning has been a very challenging issue in our community, and more particularly on the side of town where you have predominantly African American residents.
Okay. I hate to stop you right there. Mr. Neo, can you hear us in the background? Are you speaking about redistricting, Miss Jackie?
No, not redistricting. This is not redistricting. This is zoning. Basically, basically in the city, there are areas of our community that's zoned for businesses. There are areas that are zoned for residential. There are areas that are zoned for mixed use. There are areas where you can and cannot put a mobile home, things of that nature. And
Okay.
so along with the TIF district comes the challenges of taking another look at the zoning ordinances in Georgetown to make it all fit and for it to be cohesive. And so with that, they have created TIF, TIF,
Okay.
which stands for the tax increment financing. That's what TIF stands for, tax increment financing. And so Mr. Christopher Iglesias is going to be explaining to us what is the urban core zoning, and and how that affects the city of Georgetown and how that affects our communities, whether it be the West End, whether it be Beck, whether it be other areas of Georgetown, because what is known as the TIF district, which is the tax increment financing, the TIF district actually wraps around the entire city. Okay. So what that means is every area of the city of Georgetown will be impacted and affected by the TIF district. Even if your community is not directly in the district, changes are going to happen around your community that will affect your area. And
Okay.
so we need to know what these changes are. And we need to be able to ask the questions, the right questions, and be better informed as to what is actually getting ready to happen in Georgetown. Because we've heard some of our local politicians talk about the TIF district from the perspective of this is a proposed. Well, this is not a proposed anymore. The TIF district has already been created and it has already been outlined, and you need to come out and find out what areas are in the TIF district, how it works, and what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages, what are the pros, what are the cons, and be able to ask questions. And what happens?
So let me ask you this. When it comes down to the TIF district and proposed plans, is the public able to engage in how the zoning happens, or is that something that's just kind of out of our control?
I don't think that it's out of our control, but I do seriously believe that we need to understand what it is, what it looks like, how it works, how it impacts the community, so that once we've gotten that information, once we've been educated, then we could come back and say, okay, we understand that this is what is being proposed, but this, from a community perspective, this is what we would like to see happen in our community. See, having the knowledge and understanding what it is and how it works and how it impacts, basically what happens is it empowers the residents of every area of Georgetown to then be able to go back and do some community meetings or come together and say, okay, now that we have the information and we know what's going on, now let's sit down and let's have a conversation about what are the pros and cons for us in the community and how we can be engaged to make sure that what we are seeing and the changes that are coming lends itself to the vision for the community. Without this information, you will be lost trying to plan a vision for your community, because you got to have this information, because it affects what you can and cannot do. And it also affects what the city is getting ready to do. So we need to have the information, and Mr. Iglesias has been gracious enough. This is what he does. This is his job. This is why he was hired, to directly work with communities in various parts of Georgetown, as a community, as a planning person, director, to give information, to educate, and to get the feedback, so that as he meets with the other city officials, he can have in the back of his mind what the community is talking about, and be able to bring that information to the table.
Sure. If you are just joining us, thank you so much for joining the spotlight today. We have our special guest here. Her name is Jacqualine Williams. She serves many hats. She is bringing up some information about the AFL-CIO, which is a workers' union, international workers' union. And I do have a question actually about that. There's going to be a meeting, a public meeting, December the 8th at 6 o'clock at the United Steel Workers Hall. You should show up and find out about the information that they're going to be going over. That looks like the TIF district zoning. They're going to be talking about a number of other different things. They have, again, a public meeting going on, and that's what Ms. Jacqualine is speaking with us about today. In the meantime, we have Mr. Neal as well as Deontay in the background. They are coming to us from the Georgetown parade today. They had a number of different organizations show up. Looks like we've got the 40 plus double Dutch team there. So we're going to bring them on really quickly. If they can talk, Deontay, are y'all able to unmute yourself as we are? Hello. Okay.
They are having too much fun.
Yeah, they having a good time at the Georgetown parade. They're supposed to be popping in and out to talk with us about what's going on out there, as well as to chime in on the AFL-CIO in the meeting that's going to be happening. But they're having a good time. They're waving. They're representing the NAACP.
Right, right.
So we're just going to go ahead and get back to business.
The conversation.
Yes.
You can't turn them loose. You cannot turn those two loose together without adult supervision.
They are representing us. I didn't even know that there was a parade today.
I didn't either.
Otherwise, yep. I would have definitely tried my best to be there. We have some exciting news. There's a lot of different things that were going on this weekend. Just as an announcement, the youth program over in Marion County was going on today from 10, I think, until 2 o'clock. If you're in Marion, the Marion branch has a program for the youth going on today. Show up for that. There may still be time for you to go out to Choppy. Choppy's having their community organization breakfast. I heard that they're running out of food, but that's okay. Please show up if you're near the Choppy section to just drop off a donation. They need your support. From my understanding, Mr. Neal was saying that those donations go toward helping people who might need a wheelchair ramp.
That's awesome.
Yeah. From my understanding, this started off with Mr. Fred Giles, who used to be the chair. He's since passed on last year around this very same time. So remember them and their family as they go through the holidays without their loved one, but knowing that he still lives on. You know, they're organizing and raising money for people in need. And that's what it's all about, y'all. We are our brother's keepers for sure.
Right.
So, Jackie,
and that work is so awesome because it's so much that is not paid for, through people's insurance and stuff like that. So to have an organization that is willing to support a family in need by building, handicap ramps or what have you is absolutely awesome. And see, those are the things that's one of the reasons why Mr. Brave really wanted to have a community liaison that runs the entire state, because he, along with his officers, this is one of the most unique set of officers I think that I have, slate of officers that I've ever had to work with, in the sense that they are so community oriented and so involved in the community and really want to spread that throughout the state of South Carolina. And initiatives such as this, building handicap ramps and different things like that, are things that the AFL-CIO donates to, contributes to. We sponsor a lot of and support a lot of community events and programmings, not just locally here in Georgetown, but all throughout the state of South Carolina. For Thanksgiving, they sponsored a turkey giveaway in the upper states, where they gave away, I think it was well over 100 turkeys in the upper states, and along with the other food items to help people prepare for Thanksgiving. Locally here in the Georgetown community, President Brave made sure that the AFL-CIO's presence was felt. We donated to Ani's restaurant for their Thanksgiving initiative. And so we've actually donated and helped to sponsor different things that really informs, engage, and educate the community, but also support the community. And I'm glad that I saw that announcement right there of what was going on today, because one of the things that I do is when I see stuff like that, I take it back to the officers and go, well, what do you think about this particular initiative or this organization? Is this in line with, something that you would want to donate to, support or what have you? So I'm going to take that information back to them next week and see if we could possibly put that one in the pipeline for, the handicap ramp access. So, we do a lot of good. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I thank you so much for what you do in the community. And we also thank our viewers today. If you're here and you're in support, please give us a thumbs up. Thank you so much, Ms. Brown, for tuning in with us today. We're here with Ms. Jacqualine Williams with the AFL-CIO, which is a workers' union. They are having a community public meeting. Again, that's going to be happening on Wednesday, December the 8th at 6 o'clock at the United Steelworkers Hall at 1515 Butt Street. We would like to see you there. Tell other people about it. Share this video so people will know about what's going on. Is there any other information that you would like to lend about this meeting, Ms. Jacqualine, before we transition just a little bit?
The only other thing I would like to say is that your input is very, very important. Your input is important, and it is needed, and it is necessary. The Word of God says that we perish for a lack of knowledge. When that became, written and etched into the scriptures, it wasn't just talking about biblical knowledge. It was talking about knowledge, period. And you cannot make good decisions when you don't have the right knowledge and when you're hearing things second and third hand, because as well as I do that from the first handoff, things get translated. It becomes murky. It's not clear. It's misspoken. It's misrepresented. So what we are doing is trying to help. Notice I said help, to assist the community in becoming more empowered by just simply setting up meetings that we know we can do to assist them in becoming more engaged in getting the knowledge. Nobody is there to try to tell you what to do, but to just present the opportunity for the knowledge to be placed in the community so that you could come and get it. And then as a community, you can go back and decide, not with misinformation or half of the information, but having all of the information and access, then you can decide, okay, how do we want this to look in terms of our community? So please come out. Very important. Tell somebody, bring someone. We're going to have all the social distancing measures in place. So it's going to be a safe environment. We'll have some extra masks there, sanitizer there, or what have you. But we do want you to come out and get the information and be able to ask questions for yourself.
Absolutely. And y'all, this is why the NAACP likes to connect with like-minded organizations, with like-minded individuals who are on a mission to help the community. That is part of our purpose.
Yes.
That is so biblical to me. You know, if you count yourself as being spiritual or Christian or what have you, is that part of our purpose is to help one another. So that's why with the NAACP, part of our mission here is to educate, motivate, and activate. Is to get you that right education so that it'll motivate you and inspire you in some way to be active and to join in efforts to get involved and participate. Okay, we thank you so much for coming on the show today and talking about that, Miss Jackie.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. We're going to be wrapping up our show today with the NAACP, but before we go, again, we just have a couple of announcements that you should know. Again, drop by the Choppy Community Organization. They're located right now. They're having a fundraiser. They're probably out of food by now, but if you're close by, please drop off a donation for them or leave it at the Choppy Recreational Center. For them to get. They're helping people with wheelchair ramps and raising money for it. Also, in the background, we've got the Georgetown Christmas Parade. Mr. Neil and Deontay are actually in the backdrop in the parade, passing out candy, representing the NAACP. We're happy to have them there. Look like they're having all kind of fun in the background, and they can't even hear what we're saying. And then also, I have to throw in my little tidbit of excitement, and that is my son is now a student at Gray Collegiate Academy over in Lexington, South Carolina, a 2A school. They won the state championship. They played last night. Yay! They played at Benedict Stadium. The game was just awesome. I really wish I had replays on this thing. 49-14 against Silver Bluff, which is also a really good team. It was a good game. Very excited about that. I try to encourage these kids to be all they can be, do all they can do. And to speak of Deontay, who is actually our youth advisor for the NAACP, we have a youth council. So if you have any people that are 26 and below, they can join our youth council, which is number 5959. Reach out to us if you have some young folks who want to participate. And we help these kids. I mean, you know, with different things. Deontay, again, they're busy passing out candy and whatnot at the parade, but you can't, your children 26 and under, or 18 and under can join the youth council. If you are interested in becoming a member of the NAACP, please go to naacp.org. It only costs $30 a year, but there are lifetime memberships. Just be sure to put in number 5520 so that they will associate your organization with, associate your membership with our organization here in Georgetown. If you would like to donate, our information is there at the bottom for you to donate to the Georgetown branch, number 5520. We have Cash App. You can also send us a check or so in the mail. Please post any comments that you have, any questions that you have. We do our best to try to get back to you. Deontay.
Hey, what's up, Ebony?
Hey, how you doing?
Look, y'all having a good time.
Oh, we are having fun out here talking to the people, handing out candy, spreading cheer. Out here on my mobile sleigh. I ain't flying today. I'm riding around on wheels.
Hey, what's up, Jenny?
Ebony has only been trying to get your attention for about 30 minutes now.
Oh my goodness. We are getting ready to wrap this show up. Is there anything that you would like to share with us
How
before
y'all
we
doing?
close out?
Hey, brother.
Nothing as far as announcements.
Hey, buddy. How
As
you doing, man?
always, we love you.
Good,
Continue
man.
to love yourselves. Happy holidays, and everybody be safe out
Hey,
there.
you too big, you can.
So up. Is there
Oh, this man
anything
know
that
he is
you
loud, Bo. Oh
can't
my
turn? You
goodness.
cannot turn these kids loose without adult supervision.
It was a really good show today. And thank you so much for Miss Jacqueline for all that you do and for
Thank
coming
you
on.
for
And
having me.
you are welcome. We look forward to seeing everybody again next Saturday on
Hey, Ebony.
Young lady,
sir.
We just saying we was just having a ball out here.
hold on, Mr. Nick.
We just had doing a Merry Christmas with the kids. I know y'all jealous, but we had a hard job today.
Looks like y'all having a good time.
Look like y'all
Yeah.
made it.
Hey, I would love for Jackie to touch on the ministerial portion of the AFL-CIO and our partnership.
Oh, sure.
Briefly.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah.
As a part of the AFL-CIO, we have a ministerial, a clergy. It's a roundtable for faith and labor, and that's what it's called. Faith and Labor Roundtable. We meet on Zoom. The next meeting is December the 16th at 3:00. We have a stand-in date for each month. If anyone is interested, they can simply just drop a comment and we'll grab it out of the comments from the show and make sure that you have the link. But it is for clergy as well as lay people that are working in the faith-based arena. And we have come into partnership with the NAACP on the national, state, and local level, basically to push the agenda of how we can engage the faith-based community in the work that we are doing collectively in our communities locally and at large. And so with us understanding that so much of the information that is given and engagement in our communities come through the church, we thought that it was just so imperative that we form some type of collaborative partnership with the churches to bring them, to invite them and bring them into the conversation about faith and labor, and not only faith and labor, but faith and social justice, which is the centerpiece of what the NAACP does, and as well as socioeconomic stability and wellness. So we are excited. And this past, what was it, Tuesday, this past week, there was a conversation with clergy in Georgetown, which was sponsored, hosted by the NAACP, and the AFL-CIO was one of many partners that partnered with the local branch. And Ms. Ebony, you did a phenomenal, incredible, absolutely stellar job in pulling together that conversation. And the community, the ministers came out. I mean, they showed up. They did. They showed up. They did. And they lent their voices to the concern. And so I'm excited, and I know you guys are, about the fruit that is going to bear from the seeds that were planted on the other day. And I think as a result of that, it is going to really, really strengthen our position in the community as a collective. And I think I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to If Life Lasts. I am so looking forward to 2022, because I really believe, just with that beginning conversation, that there are going to be some outstanding movements that will take place in our community next year that is seriously going to make a difference. So shout out to our president, Marvin Neal, and all of the officers that represent the Georgetown NAACP, and to you, Ms. Ebony, because the survey was strategic. It was very pointed, and it was pointed and it was needed, and the input that we got was extremely valuable. Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing that information with us. And with that said, unless Mr. Neal or Deontay has something else they want to say, we are going to close this episode of the NAACP Spotlight, brought to you by branch number 5520, where we are here to educate, motivate, and activate. Until next time, as always, we will be back here at 11 o'clock on next Saturday. Miss Marilyn Hemingway, who's also on the road today, doing some more community service work.
Yes.
She's out there. She's going to be hosting next week at 11 o'clock. So please come back to hear about the information that she will share with us. And we'll see you next Saturday at 11. Until then, take care and God bless.
God bless. God bless. Bye-bye.